Hey everybody, it's me, Jackie, and I'm back again with my friend Karen. Karen, I met Karen. I was trying to figure out how long ago. I think it was 2017-ish, maybe, that we met in Orlando at a COPD thing. I forget which thing because I know, like you, we've had so many different things that they kind of run together. But I'm just going to let you take over and introduce yourself and all that you do because you do so much for our COPD community, which we are all thankful for. And we appreciate that so much. But I'll let you tell a little bit about that and then your COPD story, if you don't mind.
Okay, well, I've been trying to remember also, Jackie, where we first met. I think it was a pharma thing, and I vaguely remember that they broke us up into groups and we were sitting at tables.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that too. And they had like a cartoonist
Yeah,
drawn or taken our ideas of how we felt
yes.
about different meds or different things with COPD. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was
And
fun.
I I think were we at the same table or were
I
I
think we
oh,
were, but either before or afterwards. But I know we talked for quite a
we
bit.
did. We did. We became, more than just people sitting at a table. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, gosh, where do I even start? Well, I was a smoker. Have the what do I usually say the garden variety version of COPD. The kind you get from smoking and kind of ignoring, you know, that you shouldn't. Although,
Oh, yeah. I
I
hear
mean,
you.
I'm 80 years old, so back in the day, it was heavily marketed, especially to
Oh, yeah.
women.
Yes.
That you've come a long way, babe. That was, Virginia Slim Light menthols. That was my brand. I loved it. I mean,
Yes.
the ads, they
Yeah.
sucked you in,
Yes,
you
they did.
know? I mean, glamour, the tall, blonde, glamorous, I'm short and I never was, well, I was a bleached blonde at one point, but that's beside the point. But anyway, yeah, I started smoking at age 15, snuck around.
I hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then 1991, and I also had bronchitis a lot. And in 1991, my PCP at the time said, you got to quit smoking. You're doing a lot of damage to your lungs, and if you don't quit, you're going to be on oxygen in just a few years.
Yeah.
So, Jackie, I was terrified. The only person I knew on oxygen was a woman who lived up the street from me. She was confined to her bed in the living room,
Yeah.
attached to what I now know was a big tank of liquid oxygen.
Hmm.
I didn't know at the time. All I knew was
Right.
she get out of bed. And I didn't want to be like that.
Right.
But I had been smoking for 30 years at that point. And so I thought, oh Lord, I got to quit. Luckily, because I knew I didn't have the willpower to do it on my own, I just knew I couldn't. I found a psychologist who used hypnotherapy one on one. Not,
Interesting.
they have these big groups in the hospital sometimes, but I had tried that once and you know, I was looking around to see who got hypnotized.
Right. That's how I'd be. I'd be too busy.
So that didn't work. But this psychologist, and I was still working at the time, so my insurance paid part of it. They didn't pay all of it. It was a little pricey, but it was worth it. 2 visits, and I threw my cigarettes away.
Awesome. Yay. That's great.
So anyway, then from 91 to 2001, I wasn't smoking anymore, but I was eating a whole lot of candy, sweet things, anything to take
To
the
have in
place.
your hands.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So I was gaining weight and I was finding it increasingly difficult to climb stairs, go up an incline, do my housework. I just put it down to I've gained weight and I'm getting older. Well, that wasn't it. So my PCP referred me to a pulmonologist and they put me through all the testing and I never will forget. He was on the third floor of a building and his Well, they had an elevator. I got up there via an elevator. But
Good.
when they did the walk test, his RT walked me down the stairs. Now, that wasn't too bad.
Right.
Going,
Down's good.
but then I had to walk up. And I swear I thought he was trying to kill me.
Area. I remember those walks, but I never had to do the stairs, thank goodness. I probably would have croaked right there on the
Yeah,
steps.
I remember. And I had, I think it was this, might have been the second, because I'd already done the rest of the tests. I don't think they would have made me do the spirometry testing and then made me walk, or vice
Right.
versa. So I must have
Right.
had a previous visit. But anyway, the pulmonologist came in, sat down, looked at me, and said, "You have COPD. I'm sending you home on oxygen and with 3 inhalers." And I said, "What?
Right.
What?" First of all, I said, "What is COPD?" I'd never heard of it.
Yeah.
I didn't know what it was. And I
Right.
said, "What do you mean oxygen?" And so then he explains. And I got mad. I said, "I quit smoking. This wasn't supposed to
Right.
happen." I mean, I don't know about you, Jackie, how you felt when.
We always felt to me, I always felt like we had time to quit. Oh, I got time.
Yeah,
I was a smoker too, and um, did damage there, which I have alpha one too, so the
right.
two, the double whammy. But
You've got the
if I
double
wouldn't have
whammy.
smoked, I probably wouldn't have, been affected as early as I was. But yeah, that was just, I mean, I remember thinking, I was a CNA and worked in the healthcare, so I knew, but it still didn't click, it
Yeah,
still wasn't there. It's like
yeah.
oxygen. That's what I
Well,
put on people that I take care of. I don't need oxygen. Yeah,
I
so
know. I
I
know.
relate.
And
Yeah.
like you, I was still working,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, I go home that night, and here comes the DME, with tanks. Well, of course, back then that's all there was, and I'm like, how am I gonna? I remember, I've still got the really tall ones as backups right now.
Yeah.
I needed I don't remember what number they or letter they were called.
Right.
Were they M tanks? I don't know. Anyway.
I don't remember that. I think the one I have, they didn't have like the home concentrators back then. Was you on home oxygen or just
Oh
as
yeah,
like
yeah.
you
Oh
did?
yeah, there was a home conconcentrator, but
Okay.
then
Okay.
and then
That's
they
what
had
I
the
thought.
tall
Yeah.
ones for backup when the
Okay.
power went
Yes.
out.
Yeah. I think that was like a G or something. I
Yeah,
still have it home
something.
like for our power goes out.
And
Yeah.
then I needed ones to be able to take to work
Yeah.
because I was still
Oh
working.
gosh. Right. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
in an office. And
Oh,
and it was like, how am I going to do this?
all
So,
right.
but I did for, a couple of years. And then my pulmonologist said, "You need to go. I'm sending you to pulmonary rehab."
Mhm.
That's a story in itself. The first one I went to, Jackie, was a joke.
Oh,
It was
that's bad.
single. She was a respiratory therapist, all by herself in a single little office. She had two machines, and she had a brand new baby. And she brought her baby, and she was married to a guy that had graduated high school with my son. So what did we do? I sat and held the baby, and we talked.
Right. Yeah, that was good pulmonary.
I
I'm
mean,
sure you enjoyed every minute, but that wasn't doing your lungs any good.
but I would get on the exercise bike for what? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, get on the treadmill for 5, 10 minutes. There was no education. I was holding a baby.
Yeah.
So that did no good, no good whatsoever. So I could,
Didn't you think too? I just got to stop you here and just think when you think, and I get told all the time you have to exercise. I'm like, I can't walk 5 feet. How do you expect me to exercise?
right. So,
But
so,
I
so I
wish I would
didn't
have
push,
listened. I
I
wish
didn't
I would have
push
listened
the
back then. But
issue.
right, right.
I know. I was happy to sit down and hold a baby. I was like, I can't do this. So it didn't really. Looking back now, I realize it was a horrible rehab.
Right.
So then okay, let's see. I'm trying to think how this all happened. Well, then I started getting involved with the American Lung Association, and Way back in the day, they had county boards. Now they have kind of district boards. I was on the local county board, and I did their walk, their local walk. But by that time, I had said, I cannot deal with these little tanks. And somebody had come out with God, what brand was it? It was the one that was like a suitcase. It's still around, 18 pounds.
Eclipse? Was it the
Yeah, the
Eclipse?
Eclipse, the Eclipse.
Yes. That was my
Uh,
first machine too.
yeah, 18
Yeah.
pounds on
Yes.
wheels.
Yeah.
And my DME would not provide it. My husband and I wanted to travel a little bit, so we coughed up the money. I remember that being
They're not cheap,
extremely
right?
cool.
They're not cheap.
I remember walking, dragging that sequel Eclipse, that was it,
Oh yeah. See,
dragging it through the streets of my town with that, and they called it the asthma walk back then.
really.
Yep,
For the
for the
American Lung
ALA.
Association. Okay.
It was the asthma walk, and so that's how I kind of started getting involved in that. I had been involved because of breast cancer. I'd been involved with ACS, American Cancer Society. So then how did this happen? I was invited to go to a conference in Orlando that John Walsh was at, the founder
Love
of
him.
both the Alpha One and the COPD foundations, as you know.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
John was there, and I didn't know who he was, because the ALA had sent me, and it had to do with long-term oxygen therapy. And by then, did I have my sequel or did I have something else? No, I still had my sequel. And so I was actually sitting at a table with him, and we were discussing issues with long term oxygen therapy. And he introduced himself to me, and I said, "Oh, I need to get involved with the COPD Foundation." Because at that point, ALA was still leaning more towards asthma and not quite as much towards COPD.
Oh yeah.
So that's how,
That was a good start to get your foot in there with John Walsh.
yeah.
Yeah. He's
So,
such a
and
great man.
oh my God, we all miss him so much. Yeah. And then gradually, I just got more and more involved. And when he started the state captain program, that, yeah, well, gosh, I don't even know, 2008 maybe.
Excuse me.
I mean, I've been trying to think back to when it even started, but they
Yeah.
had an initial training session in DC, and I flew. Well, by then I had a POC because
Yeah.
flying with, well, I did fly at least once with my sequel.
It was so hard, wasn't it? Oh my gosh. Trying to get that thing underneath the seat and trying to breathe and all the things.
Think in the way they've got these airplanes configured these days, I don't even know if it could be shoved under a seat anymore.
I wonder. Probably not.
Probably first class only, maybe, and I'm not
Yeah, maybe.
class.
Right.
But
Right.
we did fly. I know, because I remember Bill picking it up and putting it on the conveyor belt for TSA.
Bill Clark.
No, my husband Bill, sorry.
Oh,
My
your husband Bill. Oh.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I remember that. And I also remember one time when I flew by myself, I had to ask some strange man in the line behind me, could he pick it up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, they're heavy.
But
A
then,
godsend. What will we do without them? But
I
still a
know.
pain in our behinds sometimes.
But
Yeah.
then I begged my DME to please cover the cost of something. Once they started coming out with lighter weight ones, which are much more portable, as you know. I mean, they're still heavy.
Right.
I've got a G4, Inogen G4, and with a double battery, it's still what, 6 pounds?
They are heavy, right? They're heavy. Yeah.
And after a
That's
while,
what people
it
don't get
hurt.
sometimes. I think they think, oh, you have oxygen, you're okay. And they think that we're okay now.
No,
But
we're
lifting
not.
it, we're not okay. It's
No.
giving us the oxygen, well,
Yeah.
somewhat,
Yeah.
what we need. Not
Yeah.
really. I mean, if we really had what we needed, we wouldn't be able to get it out. But really, I mean, unless we had those nice tanks continuous. But I lost
Liquid,
my
if
thought with
we
that.
could get
But,
liquid, yes. But then you can't fly with liquid.
all right, all
Then
right,
then you're right back to you'd have to have a POC to fly,
right,
we'd have to
right.
have that to fly with, but I don't know. And the batteries, my God, the number of batteries you got to carry with you. They're
And they're
heavy.
not cheap either.
No, they're not. They're not. They're not. So gradually I worked my way up to different portable, different POCs. And gosh, so over the years, I've been very active with the foundation. I'm also on the American Lung Association Patient Advisory Group
Nice.
because they did become more invested in COPD over the last,
Good.
I'd say, 5, 6 years. Well,
I
before
wonder if they're finding more people that had asthma have COPD and didn't realize it. I wonder if that was where the change came. I
it could
wonder.
be.
I mean, I don't know.
Could be. Well,
Yeah.
and COPD is one of the highest causes of mortality.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. And
and
where's that funding
yeah,
I mean, I'm glad all the other things have their funding in that, but with it being so many people.
we have very little funding. I'm gonna turn this phone there. It beeped, so I'm just turning it
Mhm.
off.
It's talking to you.
But yeah, I mean, and I go to DC as you do, and I try talking.
I've been once so far. I'd love to go back. I might be going back this fall, maybe. I'm not for
Okay,
sure yet if I'm going, but I'm hoping to go back. Yeah, yeah.
it's an experience, isn't it?
It is. I'm not a political person. I hate politics, but just that experience and trying to get our word out and get the awareness out there of what we
Yes,
need. It was just eye opening, and it's just I can't even explain it to explain to somebody that who's never been,
I
in the
know.
process. It's a really neat experience. I'm so glad I've got to at least experience once. Yeah,
Yeah, I've gone every year that the foundation has had their impact COPD
that's
awareness,
awesome. Yeah,
and
thank
and
you.
it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I actually I've gone with, I think one year it was AARC I went with before the
And
COPD
that is
started
so
doing it.
the
American Association
respiratory.
of Respiratory Care. Yeah.
Yeah,
AARC. Yeah. Yeah.
yes.
All these acronyms.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And some people, I mean, I know what you're talking about, but some people might like, what's that? So
Yeah.
want
Yeah.
to just get it out there. Yeah.
I
Good.
know. It's
It's
terrible.
so nice that you are involved in all these things. And don't you feel like it's helped you, over the years? I mean, I think like being involved and knowing what's going on has helped me so much. Do you feel like it's helped you?
Yes. Yes. I've learned a great deal from others.
Hmm.
I've learned, well, because there's support groups directly through the COPD Foundation. There's support groups through the ALA. There's Facebook support groups. Sometimes
Yeah.
you have to be careful with those because sometimes
Right.
they're not exactly accurate. But just sharing with others and learning from others,
Exactly.
you
I
know,
used to learn something new every day, I feel like,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, I do too. I do too. How to deal with different things. How to deal with oxygen.
Hmm.
It's
Right.
not all straightforward sometimes.
Exactly.
And I've got some other comorbidities. I don't know if you've heard of what Billy Joel has.
No, I may have, but that's another thing we get this nice foggy brain that sometimes I forget a lot of things. And,
He's
one of the other things that goes along with our COPD.
Well, he's got something called normal pressure hydrocephalus. Well, I got
Oh,
it before he did. Um, He's
No,
copying.
I don't think I've heard of it.
It's where the ventricles in your brain contain too much cerebral spinal fluid. And the symptoms are gait, you begin walking strangely. Urinary incontinence is a second symptom. And the third symptom is dementia if it's not treated.
If it's
And
not
that's
treating. And so what's the treatment for that?
rather
And what do they
scary.
do for
A
that?
brain shunt. I have a brain
You
shunt.
have a brain shunt.
And it pulls that excess fluid off and pulls it down through a catheter into my abdomen where it gets absorbed. I don't know.
Absorbed,
I don't know what
probably.
happens to it
Yeah.
there.
Well, I'm glad there's a, I mean, something, that they can do for that, but
Yeah.
sorry that you have it. So do you have any symptoms now that you have the shunt? Do you have any of those? Does that all go away with the shunt or not?
Well, they can come back. Let me put it that way. I had the gait problems. My feet
Mm-hmm.
felt as if they were magnetically stuck to the floor.
Mm.
And I would feel like I was falling forward. And it took about a year before I
Oh.
got diagnosed. Lots of
Mm.
testing, figuring out what was going on. So I never did, knock on wood, get the incontinence or the urgency
Good.
or the dementia. But
Good.
what's really scary, Jackie? They say up to 7% of people with dementia have normal pressure hydrocephalus and have not been diagnosed.
Really? See, that is scary. There's so
It's
many
very
things like
scary.
that they treat as dementia that's not really dementia. I
Yeah,
mean, that could be, helped and not
yeah, yeah. So I'm also becoming an advocate for the Hydrocephalus Association.
great.
I've also talked with my elected officials about that. I talk with them about COPD and respiratory care, respiratory issues.
Hmm.
Um, it's there's just so much that goes on. I think they get maybe tired of hearing from me.
Hey, that's what we want, right? Listen to me. If you do what I want, then you don't have to listen to me anymore, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Excuse
and,
me.
and when you go to DC, you're not necessarily going to speak with the elected official. You're going to speak with their staff member. But, if you can make a good connection with the staff member, that helps. I know
Right.
this year, last month, when my group walked into Senator Scott's from Florida, I'm from Florida, Senator
Hmm.
Scott's office, the staffer who was meeting with us looked at me and he said, "Oh, Karen, I was
Sharon,
wondering if you'd be here in with this group." And I'm like, "Wow,
nice. I think our Florida people have a great connection with him as well. I know they do
good.
good when we go there. Yeah,
Yeah."
that's great.
And I think that really makes a difference, and if you
Yeah.
follow up with a thank you for meeting with us and, it was wonderful, hope to see you again. Hope you tell your boss to do what we've asked you to do.
Right, right. This is our list of things. I always liked to start off with, we don't want any money from you. That's not what we want. We want, we're not
Right.
asking for your money.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we were asking for more funding for NIH and the
Yeah. The two when we were there, like the two things that we were asking for had nothing to do with money, so that's why we could say that then,
yeah,
the things that we were asking. So
yeah, that
that's
helped.
why I could say that.
Yeah,
Right.
we really couldn't we
Yes. Right. And here I'd like to add, just because I don't have a disclaimer on my interviews yet, this is a disclaimer. No, just to say that we're not giving any medical advice or speaking on behalf of the COPD Foundation, the Alpha One Foundation, and all the good things that you've spoke about. But someday, when I get better with these interviews, I'm going to have a disclaimer at the beginning and know how to edit this right to where that will get in there. But at least I got that in there today.
yes, yes.
I always forget to add that in there. So
Oh yeah, and I should have said that myself that these are my
that's
personal experiences.
right.
Yeah. And you know, I I get a lot myself out of being an advocate and a volunteer.
Yes. Me
I'm
too.
not gonna sit on the couch and watch TV all day long. That's not who I am.
All right.
My mother was a volunteer all her life, dragged us kids to things. I think
Hmm.
it's in my blood.
All right. And I think when keeps our mind busy too with not thinking about all the bad things or, that's going on or, all that. Keeping us busy and helping others, I think
Yes,
is so good for our mental health. I
I
think it does
agree.
help our mental health. Yeah.
I agree. I completely agree. Yep.
Yes. That
Yeah.
reminds me too. Sorry, I just kind of got a reminder of in the beginning, I always think back to when I was first diagnosed and a couple things I wish that, when we're first diagnosed that they would give us mental health support, pulmonary rehab. I think there was one other that I was been thinking of, but I thought that should be in the beginning and let
Yeah.
us learn, not just drop this oxygen off, but teach us more and let us know more.
Oh, that is so important, Jackie. And I know I dissed the first pulmonary rehab I had, but I've been twice since, and the second one was fabulous. I
Good.
learned so much. I learned how to take my medications. I learned the physiology of my body. I learned
Hmm.
that even though I hate exercise, I've always hated it and probably will never stop hating it. I learned
Right.
the importance of it and why it's important. And I'm
That's so,
friends
I
with
love that for you.
RTs.
Yeah,
I'm
I love
friends
that
with
for
her.
that they teach that because a lot of places do not teach that. And now
Yeah,
I just know I need to exercise, so I'm here to exercise,
yeah,
not of
yeah,
what our body needs.
yeah. And then this last time, I'm being evaluated for the valves, the
Nice.
Zephyr valves. So I say I had to go back through it. That's one of the criteria. You must have been in pulmonary rehab within the previous year to having the valves.
Yeah.
And so I see my own pulmonologist actually does the surgery.
Oh,
He's,
good.
yeah, and he was the one that started talking with me about it. And so I'm still going through the process of assessment and see if I'm going to be okay to do it. And then I got to
Yeah.
decide because it's
Still
been,
a decision.
back in the day, they used to do surgery and remove a part of your lung.
Yeah.
Can't put it back if it makes it worse. The
Right.
valves, as you might know, if it makes it worse, they can remove the valves. If
Nice.
it
That's good.
doesn't make a difference, well, then no harm done. But if
Yeah.
it makes it better, why not?
Right.
The only thing is, at my age, I'm a little bit concerned, but I don't know. I don't think he would try it unless he was
Right.
confident I would do okay.
Right. I think so. I think so too. And that you're active and, you're not someone
Yeah,
who just sits around and, doesn't do anything.
no. But so I'll probably know in another couple of weeks if I qualify.
Good. You'll have to keep me updated on that.
Oh, I will.
Be
I'll let
interested in
you
here.
know. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll let you know.
Great. This has been so fun. I've enjoyed talking to you. It's been a while.
I
Can you
know.
think of anything else that you want to share or would like to share?
I'm so excited. I'm a great grandmother, and I just love my two little ones who don't live close enough. They live in North Atlantic. No, North Atlanta. They live north of Atlanta. There, I got it out.
North of Atlanta. Darn.
They're just adorable.
Darn, darn. Oh,
I spent
my grandkids the greatest. I don't have any greats yet, but I have 5 grandkids and I just love
Jackie.
pieces.
That's great. Well,
Yeah.
so when they're old enough, you're not old enough to be a great
Right.
grandma. No.
No, no. My oldest is 17. No, 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 no. I'm not old enough to
No.
be.
Oh no.
No, no, no,
No, no,
no.
no, no.
But I look forward to, I told, I had all these goals from the time I was diagnosed.
Yeah.
And when you first hear that you may only have a couple years to live, of course, I know that's out the window now and I've surpassed that. And I know that's not true. I had goals, through life. First, it was getting my kids graduated and all that. Now, my goal is to live long enough to see my great grandbabies. And I'll have goals after that too, but that's
Yeah.
my next goal.
I know, I understand because when I first got diagnosed back in 2001, I Googled and oh my God, that's something I should have said earlier. Stay away. Well, maybe Dr. Google isn't as bad as he was then, but
Right. I don't think it's as bad as it was then, but yeah, I understand. That's the first thing I did too.
Oh, I mean, I thought I was a goner.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was scary as heck because I was diagnosed with very severe COPD. My FEV1 was 32%.
Wow. And 19, what did
2001.
you say, 2001?
Yeah,
Wow. Isn't that awesome?
it
That's
still
so great.
is.
And that goes
I've
to show you
managed
too
to
that,
keep it the same.
yeah, that's awesome. I have two pretty much too. And I've been diagnosed 16 years now.
Yeah,
And I feel for so many that come on that are just diagnosed and say I'm stage four. And I go on and tell them I've known people that have been stage four for 20 plus
yep,
years.
yep,
Don't always, yeah, look
yeah.
at the
It's
number or
not
whatever.
always. And I've heard things that say, it's not going to be the COPD that's going to get us. It's going to be something else,
Something
you
else.
know?
Right. Right. Yeah.
But yes, people are terrified. I was terrified. You were terrified.
Right.
So we can help newly diagnosed patients.
Right. And I think the more you learn, the better you are. Where some people are like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. And I know it's scary, but sometimes, but it's not as scary as you think it is.
Yeah,
Just
yeah,
I feel so much better the more I know and the know, what I
yes,
have to look forward to and what I can do for myself to make me better, feel
yes,
better, and
yes.
um,
It's so important.
it
And
is
so
so
many
important.
new things. I mean, it's taken forever, but with the
My,
biologics and things like that coming out, you know,
yeah, I
it's,
can't believe the things that are coming out because I, like you, I remember hearing for years. Oh, it's right there, we're right there, and it just seems these last couple of years there's so much, and there's so much in the horizon for
yeah,
people in the future. So,
yep,
yeah.
it is.
Well, it has been a pleasure talking with you. I always ask people the question I ask when they're done is which we've kind of discussed most of it, but what advice would you give to somebody who's just recently diagnosed with COPD?
The advice I would give to somebody who's recently diagnosed is do not go on the web and read indiscriminately everything you see. Look for the COPD Foundation, the American Lung Association, Mayo Clinic, Cleveland Clinic, National Jewish. Look for NIH. Look for reputable, vetted groups like that. Some Facebook groups are fine, but until you have the basic knowledge, try to kind of not get involved with the Facebook groups until you've got the basic knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah.
Although pulmonary wellness is a good one.
Yes. Oh, yes. I
Dr.
love no.
Greenspan. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one. But I just go to ones that are not just a Google search and somebody comes up and says you got 5 years to live or something.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just be cautious
Right.
and talk with your doctor.
Yes. Right. Exactly. You guys, it should be a team
Yes,
effort, not just him telling you
absolutely.
what to do, you telling him what you think, him telling you what you think, and you guys discussing. Yeah.
Right.
Well, it's been so nice, Karen. Thank you so much. And thank you again for everything that you do for the
Thank you.
COPD community. We appreciate it.
Jackie, you do so much yourself. Thank you for
Thank
asking
you.
me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Okay.
All right.
Hope to
See
see
you soon.
you in person again soon.
Yes. Yes. Me too.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay.